So let's do a couple of things. First things first, the retirement of Joe, which ends next Friday from full-time work. He had the conversation and the announcement with Evan yesterday, and one of the things he said was how things have come full circle.
My first year on the air, which is 1995, my first, full-time year, the Jets go 3-13. They're as bad as could be. It's the Kotite era. And now, in my final year, the Jets I will have gone out with my team being 0-8 because we all know they have no shot to beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday.
So appropriate, I would say, which leads us to Flump. Now, G, if you can set the scene, because I know you were with Monzo, was Evan there with Joe, or was Joe alone?
No. So it was, I think we were actually filling in on the mornings that day, and Evan was out, and it was just Joe and I, the schedule, it was in the summertime, and I like tricking Joe into stuff because he is a nice man who's very gullible, and he doesn't read the internet, so you can convince him of just about anything, and I know he hates analytics, and I know he hates Billy Bean, and I know he hates Rick Peterson and all those guys with the analytics, so I decided with Monzo to come up with a fake stat that I was going to introduce to him, saying that all teams are using this to see him blow his top, and we were able to fool him.
And so, in fairness to Joe, but BIP is a real stat. Say that.
Right.
So here comes Joe starting to read this new stat, invented by a baseball guy, as Greg just alluded to. This is the setup to the whole Flump legend.
Billy Bean, who, is the king of the overrated general managers, who is the classic, guy who couldn't make it in a major league, so I'm going to reinvent baseball and show everybody how smart I am, okay? And a guy who's won absolutely as many world championships as I have, just saying, okay, has now come out with yet another stat. And I'm going to read this. Greg, I'm going to read this.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we're ready. Here he goes, starts to read the phony report and the phony stat name.
Created by longtime sabermetrics guru, and I love this, longtime successful AGM. Oh, yeah, he's won a lot. Billy Bean, the stat of femoral leverage under max pressure. Let me say that again for those that, may have trouble hearing this. It's called femoral leverage under max pressure, more commonly known to the people in the know as Flump.
So we wrote this thing.
Yes.
We wrote this article, printed
I got all the sound.
Printed it out and handed it to him. So that's what he's reading.
Now, as you can imagine, this sort of gets to him as an old baseball fan.
And I know that I'm a dinosaur. I know I'm an old man. I know I still have a flip phone and all of that nonsense. I get it, okay? With that said, this is why baseball will never be what it once was to me. Because you have all these sabermetric geeks who have too much time on their hands and think that they're, that they're the all-time gene, that they're Albert Einstein out there, that are trying to reinvent the game.
All right, so fair to say, hook, line, and sinker. That having been said, G makes it worse for Joe. This one's a little long, but it's worth it.
There's a second page here. I want you to read that. Just there's one more paragraph here on the second page, Joe, and I think that'll make you lose your mind even more. So why don't you read that one out loud?
This one here?
Yeah.
In a recent interview in Sabermetrics Sabermetricians Weekly.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't subscribe. Stunningly. Former MLB pitcher. Oh, my God. Oh, my. Rick Peterson. I can fix Zambrano in 5 minutes. Rick Peterson, that guy, said, I've been telling people within the league about Flump for years.
So then Joe starts reading a quote falsely credited to Rick Peterson.
I've been a part of organizations that have traded players solely based on a low flump.
And then
It's
at
funnier
the end,
now than it was then.
Here is where they let him know that it's phony. Again, long but worth it.
We have to come clean.
Go ahead. This is a joke?
Yeah,
So what did you do? Where did you get this from?
we wrote it.
We wrote the whole thing.
We hit on all the things we knew you would lose your mind over.
Don't you have better time? I mean, seriously. Come on. This is what you do? This is it? You have me believing that there's actually a dumb stat called Flump? I mean, really? Seriously. Can I go home now? You don't even have an interview lined up for 6 o'clock. And we can replay, okay? So I can catch the earlier train.
We got one.
No, sir. We'll just replay it. And you're giving me Flump. What?
There you go. The legend
He was
of
pretty good
Flump.
about it. He was pretty good about it.
Oh, he always
Other
is.
hosts would have been furious with you.
Yeah, right. Well, without a doubt. But that's why I know I could do with him, because one, I know he's going to fall for it, and two, I know he's not going to be mad. As one of his famous lines is, "I am never afraid, bro, to make an ass out of myself." So I know he was the perfect guy to do that with. Yeah, so I guess it was an afternoon show we were filling in, and he wanted to replay an interview at 6 so he could leave earlier. That is tremendous. Thanks, Jerry, for digging that one up.
My favorite, though, is when he what it stands for.
It's called femoral leverage under max pressure.
Moral leverage under. How did you guys come up with that?
You know what it was? So I had the idea of Flump first because it just sounded so perfect, and I wanted to have like an acronym, whatever, Flump, and then we Monzo and I took words to put in there to make Flump, and that's what we came up with.
Femoral leverage under max pressure.
Flump, better known as Flump.
You know what's funny about that, though? I'm being serious about this, and maybe there is a stat for it. I love the idea of what the stats are for a pitcher under max pressure.
Max pressure. Yeah,
It's not
I know.
as stupid as it sounds.
That's why it was believable, right?
It
I mean,
was.
all of it was believable.
The
which
most
made it a good prank.
unbelievable thing about it was the name.
Yeah, right. Because
Flump.
it was called Flump. Yeah, right.
So I am searching for the holograms and the jetpacks hovering over, maybe for tomorrow, as we we say goodbye to Joe and honor him and all his time. And also maybe I can find Alex Van Dyke in the Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Bop touchdown that was scored when they were getting blown out, the Jets were, on a Sunday. And he started dancing. I think they were down 38-7 late in the fourth quarter, and Joe went off on this poor kid. So I will search for those things as well as we enjoy Joe for the next week and a half.